Join me as I take on the challenge of stopping my reactions to every emotion for a whole week, inspired by Buddhist teachings. In today's fast-paced world, emotional control is more crucial than ever. We're constantly bombarded with stimuli, and it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions that follow. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from this cycle of emotional turmoil? A way to cultivate inner peace, clarity, and wisdom, no matter what life throws your way. That's exactly what we're going to explore in this video, using the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. Emotional control is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't feel anything. It's about acknowledging your emotions, understanding their root causes, and responding in a way that aligns with your true values and goals. It's about being the master of your emotions, rather than letting them master you. And that's precisely what Buddhism teaches us. In essence, emotional control is about living a more intentional life, where you're not controlled by your emotions, but by your intentions. And this is where Buddhism comes in, offering a wealth of practical wisdom and techniques to help you achieve this level of emotional mastery. One of the key principles of Buddhism is the understanding that our reactions to emotions are often based on our conditioning, our past experiences, and our perceptions. By recognizing this, we can begin to break free from these patterns and respond to our emotions in a more mindful, compassionate, and wise way. Let's face it, we've all been there. We get cut off in traffic, and suddenly we're fuming with anger. Someone says something we don't like, and we're instantly defensive. We receive some bad news, and we're overwhelmed with anxiety. These reactions are automatic, but they're also highly destructive. They lead to stress, dissatisfaction, and a sense of helplessness. But what if I told you there's a better way? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could respond thoughtfully, with a sense of clarity and purpose? That's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. You see, when we react impulsively, we're not thinking, we're simply reacting based on our conditioning. And this is where the trouble starts. We say things we regret, we do things we later regret, and we create more problems for ourselves and others. But when we pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully, we create space for wisdom, compassion, and understanding to arise. So, how do we break free from this cycle of emotional reactivity? How do we cultivate the mindfulness and awareness needed to respond thoughtfully to our emotions? That's exactly what we're going to explore in the next section. Mindfulness is the key to emotional control, and it's a fundamental aspect of Buddhist practice. By cultivating mindfulness, we become more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations in the present moment. We're no longer controlled by our conditioning, but by our intentions and values. One of the most powerful mindfulness practices is meditation. By sitting quietly, focusing on our breath, and observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can develop a sense of inner peace, clarity, and wisdom. We can begin to see things as they truly are, rather than through the distorted lens of our conditioning. Another powerful technique is awareness. By becoming more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, we can recognize when we're starting to react impulsively. We can pause, take a deep breath, and respond thoughtfully, rather than reactively. In Buddhism, non-reactivity is seen as a fundamental aspect of the path to enlightenment. By letting go of our reactions, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace, compassion, and wisdom. We can begin to see the world as it truly is, rather than through the distorted lens of our conditioning. But what does this look like in practice? How can we apply these teachings in our daily lives? That's exactly what we're going to explore in the next section. One of the most powerful stories that illustrates the transformation that can occur when we learn to control our emotions is the story of a monk who lived in the mountains. This monk was known for his incredible patience and compassion, and people would come from all over to seek his counsel. One day, a group of bandits came to the monastery, demanding food and shelter. The monk, instead of reacting with anger or fear, smiled warmly and invited them in. He fed them, gave them shelter, and even taught them meditation. As the bandits prepared to leave, one of them asked the monk, "How can you be so kind to us, after we've treated you so poorly?" The monk replied, "I'm not kind to you because of who you are, but because of who I am." This is the essence of emotional control, responding thoughtfully, rather than reactively, and cultivating a sense of compassion and wisdom in the process. This story illustrates the power of mindfulness and non-reactivity in action. By letting go of our reactions, we can respond to even the most challenging situations with thoughtfulness, compassion, and wisdom. I'd like to share a personal anecdote that illustrates this transformation. A few years ago, I was in a situation where someone said something very hurtful to me. Initially, I reacted with anger and defensiveness, but then I remembered the Buddhist teachings on non-reactivity. I took a deep breath, paused, and responded thoughtfully, rather than reactively. This single moment of mindfulness completely transformed the situation, and we were able to resolve the issue peacefully. This is the power of emotional control, responding thoughtfully, rather than reactively, and cultivating a sense of compassion, wisdom, and inner peace in the process. So, what can we take away from this video? The ability to control our emotions is the key to living a more intentional, fulfilling life. By cultivating mindfulness, awareness, and non-reactivity, we can break free from the cycle of emotional turmoil and respond to our emotions in a more thoughtful, compassionate, and wise way. Remember, emotional control is not about suppressing your emotions, but about understanding them and responding in a way that aligns with your true values and goals. By applying these teachings in your daily life, you can cultivate a sense of inner peace, clarity, and wisdom that will transform your relationships, your work, and your entire life. Thanks for watching, and if you have any experiences or insights about emotional control, please share them in the comments below. Don't forget to check out another video on mindfulness practices that can help you cultivate emotional mastery.